Mr. Whoever thought the idea of lifting the eviction ban was a good idea needs to reflect, and in this case it was your government. Because since the eviction ban was lifted, hundreds of families are now in emergency accommodation. That's a fact, and they should not be in that situation. But you have created that situation, and you've created it for thousands of other families. And this stems back from the policy of Fine Gael, Fianna Fáil in relation to a market-led approach rather than an approach of citizens. And you know, we've seen other countries, particularly say Austria, where they have a better, much better system of public housing and not looking to the market. And I mean, so you speak on this issue day in, day out, year on, year out, year in, and the situation gets worse. In the last couple of months, I've had about 15 to 20 individual families coming into our office speaking about the heartache and the trauma about a notice to quit. And in the latter day, them families probably, maybe 5-10 years ago, could have actually gone back into the rental market. But that situation is not the case now. In fact, the majority of them families now will go into emergency accommodation. And that's a fact. Now, you've allowed that to happen, and you continue to allow it to happen. And the trauma and the stress that comes with this is incalculable. You just can't, put words on this situation where families are now facing a situation where they had a rental accommodation and now they don't know where they're going to go. And the stress that brings on children is unbelievable. And then when families go into emergency accommodation, they could be stuck there for a hell of a long time. Because there's a lottery then in relation to getting rental accommodation. And even the HAP rates, if you have ordinary HAP rates, it's virtually impossible to get any accommodation in Dublin. If you have homeless HAP rates, again, you're chasing the market because it's so inflationary. It's like the situation is the perfect storm in relation to those families and individuals that find themselves in a homeless accommodation. And the real figures are probably beyond 20,000, and it's probably going to get worse. And if you look and track the situation that's happened in the last couple of months, this situation is only going to get worse, Minister. This is only going to get worse because of the situation, of the policy in relation to the eviction ban. And it would make sense that in an emergency accommodation crisis, such as we have in this state, that an eviction ban, where landlords basically evict tenants, generally in the case of selling the house, that would be installed for the foreseeable future, until this emergency is lifted. So, Minister, look, these are all political choices that your party has made and other parties have made in relation to this situation. This is only going to get worse, and there is a consequence. And the consequences, I mean, obviously we can talk about political consequences, but the most important consequences is for the families that find themselves in this situation, not of their making, but the making of your party and your government. It's as simple as that. And you have to wrestle that with your conscience, that you have put thousands upon thousands of people in emergency accommodation. And the consequences of that, Minister, is incalculable.
Marcus.